Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we are talking about some design features that people will say are dated, but that I love, and some that people say are dated and honestly I think is true, and maybe it's time to think about letting them go and doing something different with from every category you can think of. And these are just some of the things that when I look at homes that I love to see and that I actually think pose the opportunity for some improvement. Let's just say that. Now, the first thing that I look for in a home that I love to see, and it makes me happy when I see it because it says to me that it's good quality, it's a really good foundation for us to build off of design-wise, are actually travertine floors. Travertine is a natural stone and it's not for everybody. And it's not maybe the biggest trend right now, but it poses the opportunity for us to work within a neutral color scheme really, really efficiently, right? There's a lot of good tones in that stone we can pull from for the rest of the space. It looks good with just about every color, every neutral you can think of, outside of maybe some of the cooler tones that honestly most people are not into right now anyway, but it's something that people look at and they're like, oh yeah, it's bad, it has to go, or I'm just not into that. Like, it's not the biggest trend right now, but it's a natural material. It's a really good quality material for flooring, especially, that I really like. So if I see a house that has travertine floors or travertine bathrooms, I'm like excited about it. Like, I can work with this, and keeping that now saves us a lot of money in the budget to do some bigger things elsewhere. So travertine floors are something that I always love to see, if possible, if a house has them. And the really good thing about travertine is that it's a great quality material that we can then expand on, and it saves us that budget to use elsewhere. Love it. Now, something I don't like to see so much in a home that I think is at this point dated, and I don't want to see, is a drop-in or overmount sink. And this can be for kitchens and bathrooms. I really just don't love the extra lip on a countertop. And so a drop-in or overmount sink is exactly what it sounds like. A hole is cut in the countertop and the sink is put in place. And this is very typical, and you have to do this with certain countertop materials like a butcher block or a laminate. And in those instances, it's fine. You don't have an option to do something else. So you get the lowest flush profile you can and work with it. But if you have a natural stone or even a manufactured stone countertop, why would you do a drop-in sink? You know what I mean? Like why would you not undermount the sink? It's just cleaner. You can wipe directly from the countertop into the sink. And it doesn't have like a groove and a lip on the top where things get into, and dirt, debris. You don't have to caulk that in. You don't have to scrub it with a toothbrush to get into that gap. I just think it's so much cleaner. Looking and actually living with it is definitely something worth thinking about. So if I see a house that has like those great travertine floors, I'm excited about it because now we can do something great with the countertops and then do an undermount sink to really update it and have a luxury feel. So I'm looking for positives and negatives in homes so I can make some changes and do some impactful design and replace some things. Like the edge detail on a countertop sometimes really dates and ages a home. And so being able to replace that and do something great like do an undermount sink modernizes a space without making it into a different style than it is, or we can actually do that and really advance the design in those spaces, be it kitchens or bathrooms. Also in a bathroom, having a drop-in sink, you lose countertop space. You lose countertop space. And so where are you putting the hairdryer and the tools and the things? No, I don't like it. I want a very clean looking countertop that is sleek, that is refined, that is minimal in detail, so I don't have to fight with taking care of it. The less detail something has, the easier it is to take care of. And that's not to say you shouldn't have any detail on anything and everything should be minimalistic design and sleek and everything like that, but you have to place those in areas where it makes the most sense. And for me, a sink does not make the most sense to have the detail like a drop-in feature. And this can be decorative. It can be very expensive. I don't think it's worth it. Go for an undermount sink if you can. Now, there are a million details in your home when you're doing a renovation, you're updating, you're decorating, you're designing, be it, things like the style of sink or hardware on cabinetry or the window treatments you're using or just the color of a sofa, a rug, and throw pillows. And you may need a little help with that, and I've got you covered. You can always book a one-on-one virtual consultation with me where you show me around your home and I answer all of your design and decorating questions. You can book that call using the link in the description box down below or by going to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. Another design detail I love to see in a home that brings me so much joy and is like so inspirational to me is a more traditional style banister. I don't like a modern railing system on a staircase. It just doesn't do for me what I need done. And so if I'm seeing a house and it has like a beautiful carved wood railing on it, I'm happy, I'm excited. And that doesn't mean your style has to be traditional or the house has to feel that way. You can update the colors on it and make it something really different than what it is. For example, you could paint an entire staircase black, all of the railings, the top railing, the spindles, even do treads and everything in all black and risers in all black, and it would look very, very, very modern in a traditional home. And that's something I think is really great because you get the details of traditional design, but the color scheme and the influence of modern design, right? So that's a detail I'm looking for. It's also something that we don't do today because it's expensive and because it's difficult. It requires actual ability and talent, and people just that's few and far between nowadays. We can manipulate the color scheme. Like I said, paint the railing all black, paint it all white, do it in black and white, and make it feel different than what it is. But I personally appreciate a stained wood railing just because, once again, staining wood is a lot more difficult than painting it is, so it's a layered detail there. That's something I look for because it's a design detail that new home builders are just not doing, or it's very, very custom to do. Something with a traditional detail, like a beautiful wood railing, is something I see and I get very excited about because the potential is endless. Now, something I don't particularly like to see, well, that's not true. I love to see it when I'm looking to purchase a home because it immediately dates a space and nobody wants it, and so you know there's a deal to be made, but it holds a space back and it just makes it look super old, are heavy, swaggy drapes. Drapery used to be like the big thing, and I'm all about a custom drapery moment, okay? I love that. But when you have a big heavy valance and swags and extra fabric and it's dark, it used to be something we did and we really liked because it, you know, it was a beautiful, luxurious, high-end detail to have, right? It was sumptuous and decadent. But today, I want light, I want brightness. I'm fine with a simple and clean pinch pleat that gives me a lot of vertical lines. I don't need a lot of horizontal stuff going on because that lowers your ceiling height. Having really heavy drapes like that makes your home feel heavy, makes it feel full, okay? It also just makes it look dated because we have moved so far forward in what is happening in the drapery space right now that having really heavy drapery like this with a lot of busy details is not doing you the favor you think it is. Unless your style is Tuscan or you like that like 80s deco vibe, all right, it could work in those spaces, but they're almost like a theme. And so if you have a home or you see a home with really bad drapery and it's like really heavy and overdone, that's a great house that has tremendous potential. And I see that in homes all of the time when someone says, we bought a house and all of the original window treatments that has to go, I'm like, take them all down, like just have blinds. Like big heavy drapery, it feels dated, it drags your space down, it makes it darker, and that's a place you could easily swap it out for something much more updated. A design detail that I love to see in a home that so many people don't do anymore, whether it's dated or not is a question, but it is expensive. So if I see a home with it, I like it. But a lot of people aren't doing it right now, and that's crown molding. I live for crown molding. I love crown molding, and that's because I'm a big fan of a ceiling detail, okay? I love it. I don't care what it is. Give me a ceiling detail. Crown molding, we just don't see a lot of it today. And a big part of that is because people want modern, these sort of like boxy style spaces, and that's really good, but I love a traditional architectural feature in a modern styled space because it just feels so much more genuine and so much more curated to me. So when I see a home that has great crown molding, I know that's expensive. It costs a lot of money to do good crown molding in a space. So having it in there, like I'm seeing the things and the vision is coming to me. Gives us a lot of opportunities to change colors on your walls and on your ceiling and even the trim. We could paint that, like if you're doing something heavy in a kid's room. We can do really fun trim colors in those spaces and more neutralized ceiling and wall colors that really has fun energy and character to it. That's so interesting to me, and to have crown molding that we can paint that same color really expands on the design and the colors, and it makes working with color so much easier. Crown molding is a great detail that so many people overlook. I wish it was more popular in modern design, even though it isn't. It is what it is. Okay, I will live with it, and I will advise my clients and their homes will be beautiful, but I guess that is beside the point. Another design detail that does not make me happy, I don't like to see, okay? I'm nice about it, but it doesn't bring me a ton of joy, is a mirrored closet door, like a sliding mirrored door. It feels dated. It feels dated, it feels tired, it feels heavy to me. The thing about it is that it feels cheap because it looks dated, even though it's expensive. But it's just not something I enjoy. Now, if you have a really small space, like the bedrooms are just compact in the house and we don't have a lot of hanging space or there's a lot of windows, there's advantages to having a mirrored closet door. I respect that. Like, to have a full-length mirror is not something that is everywhere or everyone has in their home, so I appreciate that. But there is a lot of space there for improvement. Okay, we could do something different. I'm not really a big fan of a sliding door. I like to open a door and see everything. So if I can do that, even if it's like a bifold closet door, I'm probably going to prefer that over a mirrored sliding door, just in general, or a sliding door in general, if I'm being honest. But a mirrored door can be a little bit daunting and it can make your home feel more dated. Having a mirror in a small space can work to your advantage, but it's not always the case. And a lot of times those mirrored closet doors, they have dark trim or gold trim on them that really make them feel even more dated. So I think that's a really good opportunity to refresh and brighten a space by eliminating those and doing something different. Now, you know, sometimes I'm gonna give you a little tip information that's niche, that's, you know, a little bit maybe not what you're expecting, because I see everything. I see everything, I notice everything when I'm looking at houses, when I'm looking at homes for my clients, just scrolling online, I see it all and I remember these details and I share them with you, which reminds me, if you have made it to this point in the video and you have not subscribed already, this is the perfect opportunity. Take out your phone, open your camera, and scan this QR code right here. It will take you directly to my channel where you can hit that subscribe button. So much easier, but you could also tap the red button on your computer screen right now and make it gray, and I love that for you, by joining us, becoming a part of our GarrettLeChic family. Be sure you also turn your bell notification on to get notified every time I upload a video. I'd also greatly appreciate if everyone watching could give this video a like and give it some hype to get it shared across the platform so we can maybe improve some of these homes that desperately need help. Okay, a design detail that I love to see in a house, that brings me joy, that makes me excited, that inspires me. I love a wall sconce. It just makes me so happy. And I like wall sconces pretty much everywhere because we can use sconces to our advantage. We can flank artwork with them. You can also, you know, have an electrician out and move the boxes and move them above artwork and do art lighting with sconces. I love that. In a bathroom, sconces are perfect to have at sort of your head level because the lighting is really great when you're getting ready in the mornings or getting unready in the evenings. You can see everything and it just makes you look better, but it also makes the space look more efficient, like it just is better usage for a bathroom. I love that. That's really what is happening with design right now and what designers are doing in bathrooms. If you want your bathroom to look expensive and luxurious and high-end, you do sconces. I love layered lighting in a home. So when I see sconces, it makes me happy, and you should absolutely be thinking about this, checking into it. If you're new building, add them in literally everywhere you can. I love a sconce. And if you see them in a home, just know there's tremendous potential there. Now, something I see a lot of that I don't always appreciate, but is sometimes something you have to work with and is actually coming back on trend in a little bit of a different way, but we'll talk about that, is glass block. Glass block used to be like just a privacy thing. And you know, being in Las Vegas, I see that here a lot because a lot of the homes here were built in the early 2000s. And we also live very closely together, right? Like not all homes have big, massive width-wise, okay, lots, right? Homes tend to be near each other. So having glass block means you get a lot of privacy, but you still get some light in. I'm not the biggest fan of it because it feels very like 80s and 90s to me. And if you're doing an updated space, like sometimes you just don't want that. And it has that feeling and that vibe. And so a lot of people will do walls in it. And I actually think it's really great for like an 80s Art Deco style vibe where you have like a curved wall detail. That can be really interesting. And like a mid-century style shower, curved glass block detail, really interesting. Even a shower enclosure, a lot of people will do that in. So you don't have to spend the money on getting like plate glass, and it is enclosed but still open. Like it's kind of a niche thing that could be done. I don't love to see glass block in every instance. Sometimes I think it's amazing and it's great and I love it. Other times it makes me sick to my stomach and I hate it because I know it's expensive to get rid of that and most people don't like it. Something else that I love to see and I look for that really inspires me and I think is just so much more efficient, like furniture and placement and layout wise, is actually a more traditional layout in a home. I like that. I like it because you can fit so much more furniture. You get so much more storage. There's so much more place for artwork in a home that has walls, that is not completely open concept. You can fit cabinetry and you can hang more artwork on those walls inside of it. So when I look at homes that are twice the size of mine, sometimes I'm kind of like, gosh, I don't know where I would put my furniture in that house. I'd have to get rid of a lot of stuff to fill this home up because like I have too much stuff in my house that's half the size of that. So it doesn't always equate to more square footage, meaning more space or more useful space if the home does not have a good layout. If you're thinking of moving, look at each piece of furniture you have and figure out where in the new layout of that new house you're going to put it. And I bet you will find out that that open concept home won't fit all of the things you have in your older, more traditional closed or modified concept home because you just don't get the same amount of usable space in open concept that you do in something with more walls. Now, a lot of times what you find with an older home that I don't maybe love and I don't think always elevates everything is a drywall niche. We were going crazy with drywall there for a minute. Okay, everything was in drywall. It was like angled walls and curved walls and everything in drywall. And so a drywall niche became very popular in more traditional style homes because if you look at older homes, a lot of times they'll have a tight and narrow staircase that has a niche above it. That specific style of niche originated from a very interesting place. It's inspired by, townhouses and row houses in the New York area, specifically Brooklyn, and it's called a coffin corner. And they were designed because the staircases were so narrow that if someone died upstairs, they couldn't get a coffin downstairs. So it's a little bit dark. It's a right interesting meaning, but that's the beauty of historic design. And it's something I appreciate, but I can't help but see it every time I see a drywall niche anywhere. And the reality is these feel a little tired. They feel a little dated. They age a home very specifically because it was something we replicated in a lot of homes in the 90s and early 2000s. And so we're kind of moving past that now. The inspiration, I can't say I like it, but I appreciate it. And it comes from a specific place, but it's not something we need in every home. And it definitely dates and ages a home a little bit. So in a lot of houses I see, I'm kind of like, hey, that weird niche up there and over here and there, like if you're doing any sort of drywall work, now's the opportune moment to fill that in and get rid of it and modernize things a little bit because it's a fixed element and you have to do something with it, right? But the question is, what are you gonna do? And it might not be something that you like or feels current or relevant to you. Maybe it feels a little dated and you're ready to say goodbye to it. And I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me today because I had so much fun. And be sure you check out this video right here all about some of the hottest new trends about to explode this year. Be sure you don't miss out on it. And I will see you over there.